Hi, and welcome to my vinyl finds of May 2025. Um, there's a few, but some gifts and whatever. But yeah, so was May exciting? Yeah, May was a good month. Really busy at work, but because peak season is coming, and so we're really busy. But I won't get into that. I'm just gonna get into the records, right? Because that's all you care about, right? You got to see what I got this month, right? Okay, so first, so excited to get this. It's been like really hard to find online, and Jason actually found it at a record store and picked it up for me, and so just so like thank you. It was very kind. This is Lord Huron, Strange Trails. Is this their second album or is this their debut? I don't know. But this has The Day We Met, which is such a great song. I've loved the song Meet Me in the Woods. Is this the 24? Oh no, this is the 25. It's been reissued several times, but every time I try to get it, it's not available. So I'm really happy to have that. It came with a comic book. So, or a graphic novel, whatever you want to call them. What does it say in the book? It says comic book. So, really cool. Such a great album. First and only thing I own by them, but really great band. I believe they have a new album coming out, or it was just released. I haven't heard anything off of it yet. But I think the other one after this is another one that's really popular and also really hard to find. Oh, I did not put the comic book. That's fine. It just goes in the back here for now. So I think I told you all that we're going to go see Elvis Costello in October. So, got to get prepared on that. So Jason did get me My Aim is True. This is from what? 70. Yeah, crap. I really should write shit down because I think I'll remember stuff and then I don't. And this just has the reissue date of 2015 on it. This, of course, is Allison. Allison, my aim is true. Watching the Detectives. What was that other one that I really liked? No Dancing. It's a good record. What the hell? Sorry, there's something in there. Okay. Really like how they do like with the Columbia there, but it says Elvis Costello. That's really cool. So, yeah. And so speaking of Costello, I did grab a copy of this for myself. So I got this off Amazon and I was a little annoyed because I want like what the original like UK cover is supposed to be. This is, let me just get, this is Armed Forces. This is supposed to be the cover. The way they showed it on Amazon that was the cover, but it is I think this is the US version. On the original, this is the back. And I just like this cover. Like, I like that better. What is on this? Accidents Will Happen. You've got Party Girl. What's so funny about Peace, Love, and Understanding? I don't like that song, and I don't know why. But this also came with a 45, and this is live at Hollywood High, and it has Watching the Detectives, and Accidents Will Happen, and Allison. So that's a cool little added bonus there. My brother Carl came out to visit. Towards the beginning of the month, and we went to, oh my gosh, I am just not doing well with this. Everything's falling out. Maybe it's too early for me to be doing a video. I don't know. Anyways, so my brother Carl came out. We went to Indianapolis. I have a niece that lives there. We went and saw her house and saw she works at a library and met her husband. And so it was really, really, really nice. And just to catch up and also just spend some time. But he had a bunch of records and he was getting rid of them. And he brought some dollies that I already had, but that I'm not going to show you because I already had them. They were a little better copies than what I had, so that was cool. But these are silly but kind of fun. So he brought me Brady Bunch. This is the kids from the Brady Bunch. Notice about all three that I'm going to be showing, they're all sealed. So this, of course, has Sunshine Day and Candy, Sugar in the Shop Now. Are those the only ones? Oh my goodness, they do Ben, the two of us, and Love Me Do. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna open them. This next one I have, my cover is like jacked. And is this a gatefold? I think so. I don't know. But the vinyl is really good of the copy I have. So I'm not going to open this one. But this is the phonographic album. I don't know. These are all 70s. And then we have Meet the Brady Bunch. And this has got, oh, Baby, I'ma Want You. Me and You and a dog named Boo. And I just want to be, their cover of American Pie just cracks me up. And then it's got Time to Change. When it's time to change, then it's time to change. So yeah, my fun Brady Bunch records, all sealed. These are all originals. These are not, I know they reissued most of them, if not all of them, probably like 10 years ago. And those are all originals. So I didn't need this. That's like the theme of my life. But yeah, they reissued this and there were two versions and I stopped myself from getting the other one. It's the only difference is the vinyl pressing is different. So I did get, this is Kylie's second album and this is the Execution of All Things. So this has the die cut. The pressing is really, really, really cool. Check that out. And the other one is also kind of like a creamish color. And this one actually came with a 45. And that is... And this has Jenny, You're Barely Alive on it. Emotional Until Crickets Guide You Back. And then their cover of After Hours, the Velvet Underground song. So that is the reason I wanted to get this. So 7-inch, that is 35 RPM. And I don't know that you see that very often. So that is on clear. And you know, anything Kylie, even if I already have it, I'm probably gonna get it. And maybe I should stop doing that, but you know, they are one of my favorite bands of all time. So, knowing me, I'll probably get that other pressing, but I don't know. And speaking of, because they are touring right now, they got back together. They did release this. This is Kylie, That's How We Choose to Remember It. So kind of a greatest hits that was curated by the band. Feel like tracks are missing and maybe some shouldn't have been on here, but you know, they're hits, they're not hits. It's got Silver Lining, Portions for Foxes, With Arms Outstretched. It's like the Frug is on, like, it was on the archives too, so it's like, I think we could have done without the Frug, but it's okay. There are other songs I think maybe it would have been cool if they threw some of the B-sides or hidden tracks that weren't on any of the other compilations. That would be really cool, but it didn't happen. So it's still Kylie, and I still had to have it. The picture that is like, it's a blown up like Polaroid picture, and the images is kind of blurry, but yeah. Rilo Kylie, that's how we choose to remember it. I have an original pressing of this, but it's pretty, I don't want to say it's beat up, but it's crackly. And so they reissued this last year, I think. This is the Gossip's debut. That's Not What I Heard. This is the only, and I said the Gossip, but they're just Gossip. This is the only thing that they released that actually says the Gossip. Everything after this says just Gossip, which is what they go by. This is on Red. And yeah, a lot more punkier than what we would get later from Gossip, and really standing in the way of Control, and then it just goes into almost a more electronic feel moving forward in their discography. But yeah, I just really wanted to have a nice cleaner copy of this and colored, and it was like $11. So I didn't want to pass that up. I have a couple of her live albums, and I just wanted some studio tracks of hers, and this is the greatest hits, but this is Big Mama Thornton with the very best of. I love Willie Mae, one of the most underrated blues singers to ever grace the planet. Very tragic life, and the original singer of Hound Dog, and if you ask me, that is the best version. Sorry, Elvis, but hers is better. Interesting that it does not have like a ball and chain on it, which later Janis Joplin would record and just make it incredible. But it's got, My Man Called Me, Rockabye Baby, Cotton Pickin' Blues, I Ain't No Fool Either, Big Mama's Blues, Just Like a Dog Barking Up the Tree. So yeah, I really, really, really love Big Mama Thornton, and this is just a nice compilation of some of her finest recordings. And they did these Great Women of Song. Verve did these. I have the Estrud Gilberto one. This is Nina Simone, and there were reasons like I didn't have Feeling Good or Mississippi Goddamn. I only have a few of her albums, which is very tragic, but I need to get more. But this has got Wild as the Wind, Take Care of Business, Sea Lion Women, I Put a Spell on You, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. Probably her version is one of the greatest versions of that song. Like I said, Mississippi Goddamn, that's just like, that's one of my tops in her catalog. I love that song so much. This is a show tune. The show just hasn't been written yet. So this is a combination of their first album and their first EP. I was pretty much the only thing I was missing. So I have talked about Dead, a local Chicago band, DEHD, the kind of punky, kind of like, it's 3 members. You have Emily, who does vocals and bass, Jason, who does vocals and guitar, and then Eric, who does the stand-up drums. This was actually done by Sugar Records, which is local. We were actually there, and was talking to Adam, the owner, and I actually asked him, I said, it's really cool that you guys did this, but why are the song titles, there's nothing, it doesn't tell me anywhere I guess it does say on the sleeve there, but like nowhere. This is, there are several different pressings of this. This is number 20 of 24. I think there were probably like 7 to 10 different variants. This is the one I got. I think they call this Cream. But you just have, but nowhere on here, there's no inner that has the song titles. There's nothing. So I wrote down so I would know what songs were on this. So it's their debut, Dead, and then the Fire of Love EP. It's actually really cool. Another band that just, changes with each album, but also kind of stays the same, if that makes any sense. But I adore like this band, and out of like newer, I think their first one came out in their first well, this was 2016, so I guess that's when the first one came out. But yeah, just like really, really cool, and the first band that I got excited about in a really long time. They're also playing Riot Fest, which is what Rilo Kiley is playing. They're on different nights, and I'm just like, I don't want to go to a festival to see Dead. I don't want to go to a festival to see Rilo Kiley. I'm really annoyed. Like, they're here. I'm sure I'm going to get a chance to see Dead at some point. But anyways, back to the whole song title thing or whatever. He just said that Jason was very particular, that he wanted to focus on the artwork. And it's kind of his thing. Because if you look at their catalog, like, I think there's one album. I think it's the second full length, Water. I think that's the only one that has song titles on it. Everything else doesn't. So I did not have this. I wanted to get this. This is a reissue, but this is Elton John with Honky Chateau. Of course, this has Honky Cat. Let's see. I think I'm going to kill myself. Mellow, Rocket Man, because I did not have that. And of course, Mona Lisa and Mad Hatters. So the original had the flap thing, and the flap opened up, and then you had the other two pictures. Those are not on here. One was Bernie, but this did come on gold. And I found this for relatively cheap, so I wanted to pick it up. This is her third album, I believe, and that would be Solange with A Meeting at the Table. This is another one that is just really obnoxious. Oh, A Seat at the Table. So on the records, there's just random words. And nowhere does it say what side, and the random words have nothing to do with the song title, so it was really difficult for me to figure out like which one, and I probably shouldn't have, but I wrote a little A and a little C so I could tell which record was which, because they're the exact same words for the most part on both. So like, it really annoys me when I can't, like, I mean, at least the song titles are on the back, but, you know, Solange, I think, is very underrated, and I think she gets underlooked, and kind of maybe pushed aside because Beyonce's her sister, and I think maybe if that wasn't the case, she might have had better luck. And then the last thing I picked up, because I had to, so I have, like, original 80s compilation of their greatest hits, and it's pretty crackly, and I was trying to find like that version, but this has a couple songs that aren't on it, and I did pick up the Air Supply greatest hits, and go ahead and laugh, I don't care. I love Air Supply. I don't need more than greatest hits. I don't need their albums, but my mom really, really loved Air Supply. So did my sister, and so if I hear Air Supply, I think of my mom, I think of my sister, and just they make me smile, and they're cheesy as all get out, but I freaking, and they are old, but yeah, this is their 50th anniversary, or because they're celebrating their 50th year, and I mean, this has got all the hits. All Out of Love, Making Love Out of Nothing at All. My friends would sing Making Love while we're shopping at the mall. Sweet Dreams, Lost in Love, Every Woman in the World, Even the Nights Are Better, Here I Am, the one that you love, or something like that. Oh no, that's just The One That You Love. Here I Am, here I am, just when I thought I was over you. Two Less Lonely People in the World, and Love and Other Bruises. That one I'm not familiar with, but pretty. I was looking back too, because I'm like, okay, this is kind of in their thing, the balloon. And I thought maybe there was one on every, but there's really only one album of theirs that has the freaking balloon, but that apparently has become their thing. So that's it. That is what I picked up in May. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like and subscribe if you haven't. I don't ever ask you to do that. And just appreciate everybody who continues to watch the videos, and hope you're all doing well, and that's all I got for you. Thanking you.